Our whole desire is to empower people. I think that by doing that, we are changing the very fiber of our world. We're putting this love in the way of stitches out into the universe, and we're wrapping people in that love and comfort. And I just feel like we're changing the world a stitch at a time. So when we came to Hamilton in 1995, Hamilton was a bustling town. There was just all kinds of businesses. It almost felt like you're coming into a little bit of Norman Rockwell. And within 10 years, all those businesses went away. Hamilton was becoming a ghost town. We felt like it changed our lives, and we wanted to help change Hamilton. So when the stock market crashed, Ron and I lost all of our retirement, and the children were worried about what we were going to do, and I'm pretty sure they just didn't want us living in their basement. So they started talking amongst themselves about what they could do, and I said, well, I have to go pick up a quilt. It's been at the Long Armors for over a year. And of course, Alan, the wheels are turning, and he looks at me and he goes,
Mom, if we got you a machine, could you do this?
And I said, well, I can sew.
We started this quilt company. We bought a building for $24,000, and then we bought this quilt machine for $36,000.
People were sure we weren't going to make it. Even the guy who brought our UPS packages, he's like, you're such a nice family. I'm so worried about you. This just isn't going to work. So Alan went online to see what was happening with quilting, and it hadn't made the jump yet. He actually asked me if I wanted to do tutorials, and I was like, sure, what is a tutorial? What do you want me to do? And he says, well, I just want you to teach people how to quilt online.
All right, go for it.
Hi, welcome to Missouri Star Quilt Company's Beginning Block Series. Today we are going to be making a...
Oh, you did it perfect, and then you looked at me.
And then you looked at her.
When I started teaching quilting, I just thought I was sewing. And because I'd had this big family and I had tiny snippets of time to do the things I loved, I developed the drawer of knowledge. And I'd be like, let me show you this little trick, and they'd be like, oh, you can do that? So when the letters came, that was a real shock to me. The first letters mostly came from people who had never been able to take a class before, women who were handicapped or they were in a wheelchair, and they were so grateful that they could take a class and learn new things because they were homebound. And I was just so surprised. I just wasn't expecting it at all. How is it that here in this little town in Hamilton, in this little building with this tiny little camera, can change somebody's life? It was just amazing to me, really amazing.
Well, the tutorials were everything for our business. All of a sudden, 50,000 people see that we sell this line of fabric. Like, that's crazy. And so it dramatically changed our business. In the beginning, the Dropbox folder that was Missouri Star, the amount of lift that we got out of that for building our company, like every picture of a product, every daily deal description, like everything lived there. So when we added team members, there was already a place and a flow for this stuff to live. Like, we built our whole company around it. So when the pandemic hit, like, there was no recreating how we do stuff. I'm glad that we built our company around Dropbox, because when that happened, it made us very anti-fragile.
So the whole time during COVID, we didn't have to lay a single person off. We never even actually stopped hiring during the pandemic. We became essential because of masks. I'm just so proud of that.
We have like 15 quilt shops now, and we get about 100,000 visitors a year, which is wild for a town in the middle of nowhere. When we started the company, we did not expect to be employing like 400 people here. The community plays a big role. Mainly, our biggest one is people to work here, right? Like, our company doesn't exist if the shops aren't staffed, if the warehouse can't ship orders, right? Like, all that goes away if we can't do that.
Before Missouri Star came, our town was starting to dry up. The buildings were falling apart. Missouri Star has brought life back to Hamilton. I mean, it's rejuvenated us.
Oh, it just means everything. It's changing people's lives. It's giving them a way to take care of their families. I just hope I leave a legacy of love. We want people to feel confident and skill. We want them to be able to share that love. We want them to be able to heal through creating. You can't teach love through hate, but you can teach love through quilting and all the things that a quilt brings to the table when you give it.